Holistic Health Net, where we strive for a healthy DC. This show explores different alternative health practices for all ages in different places throughout DC. On today's show, we will talk to some of the staff of Potomac River Running in Cleveland Park about barefoot running. And then when we come back here, we will talk to barefoot runner BH Jamison about her experiences with barefoot running. Today we are talking with AU student BH Jamison about her experiences with barefoot running. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So what made you decide to start barefoot running?
I'd had a number of friends that were barefoot running, and I always just thought that I didn't have the arch structure to properly barefoot run. And I would also spend probably about $90 to $120 every time I got a new pair of running shoes. And I was trying to increase mileage, and so I was burning through them like crazy. And I thought, well, maybe if I can get myself to barefoot run, I can just eliminate all of my costs, mostly.
So how did it work out for you?
It started out really very poorly, actually. I was living in Arkansas at the time, and I just decided to go run 3 miles without shoes. But there was dirt roads that had a lot of gravel in them, and I think at about 1.5 miles, I stopped to look at my feet and realized that there was no skin on the bottom of my feet anymore. And instead, I ended up taking my shirt off, ripping it in half, wrapping my feet because I was bleeding, and hobbling back to the ranch where I had come from. So the first experience, not so great. But
did it get better?
It did get better. I went and saw Iron and Wine that night in Little Rock, and I could barely move. Like, I had people carry me occasionally because my feet were just raw. But I gave it about a week, and calluses started to build, and I made it to 2 miles, and then after that, 3, and then I was able to climb back up to the mileage that I had previously been at before I ruined my feet. So I don't recommend necessarily just jumping right into that, especially not on gravel. Gravel's not the best choice, but grass maybe. Grass would be good.
Have you heard of the New Balance Minimus shoes? Because it's supposed to help the initial,
I tend to
terribleness
be
of it.
stubborn and thick-headed, so when I want a barefoot run, I really want a barefoot run. So I should have, that was probably the better option, but in my head I was like, well, that's what barefoot running is, and people did that all the time. Not everyone had shoes always, so I thought it would work out better than it did.
So do you still barefoot run?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It builds your calf muscles up a lot, so it's just, it's different. Like, the way that it pulls on your tendons and your muscles, and the way that you run is very different. You have to really reteach yourself how to run. I think running shoes have entirely altered the way that humans move their bodies when they do run. And so it's just, essentially, you suck for a while. And that's no fun if you feel like you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden you again feel like you're incredibly out of shape or whatever it is, and you can't run nearly as far. It's frustrating, but just building back up and reteaching yourself how to run.
Interesting. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching Holistic Health Net, and see you next week.